Well, folks, good evening to you, one and all. And tonight is going to be epic beyond, no doubt about it. Spa-Francorchamps with a Renault 3.5. And just think about it. What is the options that comes to hand with something like this? It can only be amazing stuff. It can't be anything less than that. Let's have a look, see exactly who there is going to be out there tonight. The likes of Willem Botha, Leon van Wyk, Timothy Stanton, Fanie Grevenstein, Robbie Teens, Gerald Fourie, JJ van der Merwe, Carl Lawrence. Ooh, this is going to be good. Christian van Wyk, Johan Fourie, Neil Lamprechts, the man from Induction Noise, powered by ROWE Lubrication. Then we've still got the likes of, and he's not on track yet, Leighton Fourie. Cannot get better than that if you've got the likes of Leighton Fourie in there. Johan Fourie makes sure that he gets one quick lap in to get started off with. And Johan Fourie initially goes to the top end of the pack. From Willem Botha by 0.4. Gerald Fourie by 0.4. Carl Lawrence by 0.9. Provisionally 5 minutes into this 12 minutes quali session. Just a second off the being guide to entry of Leon van Wyk. 1.5, Timothy Stanton. Remember, he's only got one flyer in so far. Neil Lamprechts on his second flyer, the man from Induction Noise. Fanie Grevenstein putting in yet another one. Now remember, Leon van Wyk hasn't put in a time yet. And now he's going to come around. He's 1 second off. It's got some green sectors going there. I see Johan Fourie's got one purple sector going there as well. Timothy Stanton, a 1.5 off. He's got 2 green sectors, has Timothy Stanton. 202.927 for Timothy Stanton. So Leighton Fourie has not gone out on circuit yet. Sandro Bakari trying to put in a flyer. See what kind of times he can get together. JJ van der Merwe. Oh, JJ van der Merwe. Second row of the grid provisionally. That's a stonker of a lap that he's just put in there. That kind of turns the books upside down. And still we don't see Leighton Fourie out on circuit. Is he going to be starting off the back end of the pack? Got to keep an eye on Johan Fourie, the calm before the storm. Reasonable possibility as Timothy Stanton comes through towards the chicane. 1.5. He needs 3/10 to get alongside, well, to get ahead of Neil Lamprechts. Can he put up a quicker time? Nope, it's not going to make a difference. Willem Botha on the front row of the grid. Gerald Faurie's right there. Neil Lamprechts has just put another one in. Nobody really looks like they're going to go any faster at this stage of the fight. Now remember, Sandro Bakari has not put up a time yet. Leighton Fourie has not been out on circuit yet. Christian van Wyk, see, locks it up there, trying just a little bit too hard. Robbie Teens is into the pit lane. So Leighton Fourie looks like he's definitely beginning starting off the back end of the pack. Qualifying 9 minutes 36 into the 12 minutes. Johan Fourie pushing as hard as he can. One green sector so far. Remember, Willem Botha is just 2/10 off him. And Willem Botha's already got 2 green sectors. Timothy Stanton 1.4 off. And he's got some green sectors going there. He could move himself with a 77 entry just a little bit closer to the front. No, Johan Fourie does not get it right to go any faster. What about Carl Lawrence? Nope, he's blown on the last corner. Gerald Fourie. Can he bump it up onto the front row of the grid? Looking for 3/10. It doesn't look like it. Nope, we're going to stay exactly the same. JJ van der Merwe goes into the pits. Sandro Bakari. He should be able to make it round. Putting up some pretty quick times there. Pretty about that yellow sector for him right at the beginning. But Robbie Teens is starting from the pit lane. So Sandro is, well, he's in the pit lane already. So he cannot put up another time at all. Which means that it's now going to be a situation of Sandro Bakari versus the rest. Does not manage to go any quicker. Sandro Bakari, 22 seconds left. Willem Botha getting in all the practice that he can. Carl Lawrence pushing the edges through the double gaucher. Varney Gravenstein using up every second of the practice time that there is. Well, quali, should I say, not practice. And now, we wait for that grid. Here we go. Oh man, this is going to be good. Johan Fourie, Willem Botha. Gerald Fourie, Neil Lamprechts. JJ van der Merwe, right in there as well. Oh man. That's the top 5. Then we got Carl Lawrence, Timothy Stanton, Leon van Wyk, Sandra Bakari, super senior in that 9th position. Fanie Gravenstein, Robbie Teens from Christian van Wyk. And if we go just a little bit further back from there, we got Leighton Ferry and Leonardo Bakari. That's the way it's going to play itself out. Let's get you a nice big wide open screen. Get as much space as possible as they stand on the line. They're just waiting for the lights to go off. 3, 4, 5 green lights. On the gas they go. Pop the clutch. It's Johan Fourie on that inside line. It is Willem Botha on the outside line as they go down towards turn number 1. Into turn 1 they go. Will everybody make it through? It pretty much looks like it. It's only Fanie Gravenstein that's had a problem. It's Johan Fourie from Gerald Fourie from Willem Botha as they work their way down the hill. Oh, very close in there. Willem Botha right in behind Gerald Fourie. Oh, spinning it right around. Was that Timothy Stanton? It could have been Timothy Stanton that went out. Look at this. It's beautiful. Side by side, Willem Botha goes for the move on Gerald Fourie and makes it stick. That it could be a very important little passing maneuver that he just put through there right now as the rest of the pack works its way through. And behind JJ van der Merwe, it's a Leighton Fourie that started off the back end of the pack that is already up into that 7th position. Can you believe it? Leighton Fourie from the back end of the pack. Timothy Stanton that had that incident has gone to the pits. Leighton Fourie using the whole track and a little bit more. He can see the leaders in front of him. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. And he's in that 6th position. That's how close he is to the front runners. It's only Johan Fourie that's getting a little bit of a gap right now. Oh, and that is Neil Lamprecht that's gone off. See, Leonardo Bakari had an off track as well as we keep an eye. Dive to the left, dive to the... Oh! And that is going to be JJ that's going to have that incident with Leighton Fourie. That is going to cost him so much. He's got to wait for the cars to come through. Then he's going to try and turn that one around. He's minus the nose cone. He's going to have to drive that one back to the pits. See, Leighton Fourie has gone to the pit already. He's just decided, let's just go straight through to the pits. That's a terrible one that's happened there. Leighton Fourie that was working his way through so neatly. Well, let's have a quick look at the incidents so far. We've had Fanie Gravenstein. That was where they knocked into one another initially. Then we had Timothy Stanton. Oh, he just picked up that curbstone all by himself. That one happened, so nobody else to blame with that. Then we had JJ van der Merwe. Dives across. Leighton goes for that inside line. I don't think he even realized that Leighton was there. Too many cars, too small an area, mashing up both of those cars. And Leighton Fourie just decided, let's just teleport this back to the pits. Fanie Gravenstein had a second incident in the Parmalat car. That's coming into the last corner. Oops, see, just making light contact and then trying to dive it into the pits. And that was then the incident with Willem Botha. Now that's a biggie. Willem Botha that made it past Gerald Fourie. Just bounces on the curbstone. Oh! How do you get going from there without taking somebody out? And Willem Botha got it going again. So going back to the live, and the man up front is Johan Fourie. Gerald Fourie having backed off to try and make sure he doesn't hit Willem Botha. From Carl Lawrence. Beautiful stuff, Carl Lawrence. Sandra Bakari, super senior, ahead of Leon van Wyk. That is a brilliant drive so far by Sandra Bakari. The recovering Willem Botha decides to go into the pits. Robbie Teens and Christian van Wyk. Christian van Wyk taking a long, then a short route, and then a long route after that, but gets it through and gets it going again, manages to keep it out there. Willem Botha on his way into the pits, going for one of the earlier stops as such. Let's see who has been in and out of the pits as he goes and stops, but it's Leon van Wyk. It's just gotten now past Sandro Bakari. Nothing much between the two of them. Sandro Bakari. Behind him is Robbie Teens. But remember, back to Robbie Teens, it's quite a distance. They are both in the seniors class. And behind Robbie Teens is a Christian van Wyk. Then the people that have been in and out of the pits. And JJ van der Merwe, he looks like he's trying to have a go now, because Willem Botha is the lead man in and out of the pits. Then it's Fanny Gruivenstein. And then behind that, in the green mean machine, there you see him coming through there now. That's JJ van der Merwe. He's lining it up very, very neatly. You just see Leonardo Bakari in the background. He was 0.3 of a second off. There you see him in the background, Leonardo Bakari. He has been in and out of the pits already. As we watch this battle unfold between these two very quick racing drivers, with Johan Fourie that's decided it's time to get away from the pack, do what he does best. Let's get a track map and a battle box up there that we can pick up the finer detail. So Johan Fourie leading out, and he's got a whole bunch of open space behind him. Johan Fourie from Gerald Fourie. Brilliant drive. Carl Lawrence holding on. Carl Lawrence is holding on to Gerald Fourie. That's amazing for Carl Lawrence. Well done, Carl Lawrence. Leon van Wyk in the Being IT entry. Sandro Bakari, the man that he just passed. And then a big, big gap back to Robbie Teens, the original comeback kid. Robbie Teens from a Christian van Wyk. And then 9 seconds further back, the lead car that's been in and out of the pits. You see that 2 minute 18, that's having been in and out of the pit lane. And he's got a massive 28-second gap back to JJ from Leonardo. Then another 47 seconds further back. It's like they're in two different races, completely different world. Back to Neil Lamprechts. And from there back to Timothy Stanton. Wow, that is quite a turn up for the book. So Johan Fourie has already done a lap on Timothy Stanton. Can you believe it? But he has not been into the pits yet, has Johan Fourie. He's got a lovely open view in front of him, has Johan Fourie. No problem whatsoever, no traffic. 13.5 seconds between himself and Neil Lamprechts. All open spaces, riding on board with one of South Africa's best main circuit races in the history of South African motorsport. So takes it across the line. Let's do a lap with Johan Fourie. 8 minutes 18 into this one. Through La Source he goes. Down through towards Eau Rouge. Into the dip. Dive it in. Turn it tight. Ready on. Kemmel straight. 6th gear. 8,200 RPM. 8,300 RPM. 8,400 RPM. Down the Kemmel straight. Lake calm. Down to 4th. Down to 3rd. Nice and smooth. Use that curbstone. Lower revs. Short change up to 4th gear. Through Malmedy, down through Brussels. Keep it turning, all the way down to Speaker's Corner. Very important to get that one correct, to carry as much speed from there down towards the double gauche. Watch how you'll run it all the way to that curve on the outside, virtually making one long corner out of the double gauche down towards Les Farges. 3 gears down, 2/3, keep it nice and smooth. Point and press, get that steering as straight as possible, as quick as possible, down towards campus. Down through the dip, through Stavelot. Up to 5th gear. Running back through 8,700, 8,800 RPM. Down along Blanchimont. Just keep the hammer down. Keep it as smooth and sweet as possible as we do a lap. 10 minutes into this 25-minute race with Johan Fourie. Perfect entry line. Perfect exit line. Decides not to go into the pits yet, and that is what it looks like to do a lap with Johan Fourie. So from the visuals upstairs, let's have a look, see what is the real gap now. Back to Gerald Fourie, Leon van Wyk, Sandro Bakari. Carl Lawrence has gone into the pits. Robbie Teens has decided he's going to go straight through. He's not going into the pits. And then Christian van Wyk directly behind him. And then our lead man in and out of the pits, Willem Botha. As Willem Botha works his way through towards La Source. Willem Botha 2.6 behind Christian van Wyk. But remember, Christian van Wyk has not been into the pits yet. Willem Botha has. Carl Lawrence has gone into the pits. So Carl Lawrence is going to be absorbed in the not too distant future by JJ van der Merwe. There comes JJ van der Merwe. Carl Lawrence is in the pits. And JJ van der Merwe is on his way down towards Eau Rouge. Is JJ van der Merwe. Carl Lawrence. There comes Carl Lawrence. But he still finds himself ahead of Neil Lamprecht. That finds himself a long way further back. The man from Induction Noise, powered by ROWE Lubricants. But it's all about Johan Fourie. It's just... he's just incomparable to anybody and anything else with this car driver combination. Is he going to go into the pits? I kind of think yes, he will. Now, if he goes in, what does Gerald Fourie do? Does he follow suit? Yes, he does. What about Leon van Wyk? He's right there where it counts. He's going to go in as well. Sandro Bakari is doing a brilliant race with the Havilland car. Then there's Robbie Teens is going to be the next one that's going to be coming through. Johan Fourie is in the pit lane. Gerald Fourie, Leon van Wyk, Sandro Bakari. Next man to come through is Robbie Teens. Is Robbie Teens going to go in as well? It does look like it. Robbie Teens is going to go in. And Willem Botha is going to be going straight through. Now, having said that, Johan Fourie is already on his way down the hill. Where is Gerald Fourie? There comes Gerald Fourie. The next one behind that will probably... It's Leon van Wyk. Behind Leon van Wyk is Sandro Bakari. And there is Willem Botha. That's on his way down the hill in that 5th position. So the man behind him, Christian van Wyk, is the only person right now that has not been in and out of the pits as Robbie Teens is about to exit the pit lane. Very tight exit as you come out of that pit lane. Robbie Teens works his way down. 13.5 minutes into this one. Let's take away that one. Let's have a look at the gains and losses as we keep an eye on Robbie Teens. In fact, I think we should go for the gaps. It'll give us a much better idea. Well, it's spread out now quite a lot. It definitely has spread out quite a lot as Gerald Fourie in that 2nd position, using the whole surface of the track and more. Johan Fourie started in pole position, finds himself still leading out this race. Gerald Fourie, that started on the 2nd row of the grid, he was bumped out there by Willem Botha. Has moved past Willem Botha, who had that initial incident, and he's now moved up into that 2nd. 5 up for Leon van Wyk. What a lovely drive by Leon van Wyk. Having said that, Sandro Bakari, the super senior, in that 4th position, 5 positions up. So having had that one incident, it's Willem Botha that finds that he has dropped down. And, well, he's not going to be very happy with that, because he qualified to within 0.2 of a second where he needed to. Let's just have a look, see what really cost Willem Botha the time. It was all by himself. He had gotten past Gerald Ferry, climbs on the brake into the source, touches that curbstone, the car bounces, it slides slightly backwards, almost beaches itself on the curbstone. Everybody else manages to get through such a wide turning circle on that motor car and manages to get it going again. And that was the one that made the difference. As Christian van Wyk works his way into the pit lane, and we go back to Gerald Ferry that's on his way up the Kimmel Straight. There you'll see the lead car just ahead of him. There behind him is Leon van Wyk. Super senior Sandro Bakari, what a driver. Willem Botha, can he catch up to the back end of the super senior Robbie Teens on his way down towards Rouge? Second overall in the super senior category. It looks like Leonardo Bakari is out. Leighton Ferry, that came off the back of the pack and then had that incident, has not rejoined the race at all, so we will not see him in this one. We'll probably see him on the invert for race number 2 at Johan Fourie. 4.9 seconds away from everybody and everything else. Gerald Fourie comes through. Leon van Wyk comes through. Sandro Bakari. Willem Botha comes into the shot. Top 5 all within the front end of 15 seconds. Nothing much between them, but then there's a big gaps behind that. Just that little bit too hard for Willem Botha. We know he's a very hard trier. Doesn't back out very easily at all. Tends to have those little mistakes here and there. But on pace, you cannot fault him. Willem Botha puts near to a 5.034. Lap number 9 of 13, Willem Botha rounding out the top 5. Just ahead of him, there you'll see the car direct in front of him, Sandro Bakari. Will he be able to pick up on Sandro Bakari? Well, let's have a look at the last lap times. 2:05. No, in fact, Willem Botha was slower than Sandro. Well, remember he had that slide going into the chicane, in the middle of the chicane, so that slowed him down. So any chances of him catching at this stage of the fight is very limited. Look at the front runners. Johan Fourie, 202.7. Gerald Fourie, 202.7. Leon van Wyk, 202.15. Is Leon van Wyk just maybe going to be able to do the catch-up on that man in front of him? Leon van Wyk, for being IT man, picking up just a little bit too much of that curbstone. He was 0.6 of a second quicker than the two front runners on the last lap. Can he emulate that again? Is it possible? Look at the blinding speed as they come up towards the brake marker. Not a great field of vision. Sitting very, very low in the car. 2022, 2024. Leon van Wyk, 2022. He's the fastest man out there. Leon van Wyk, in 19 minutes, 6 minutes to go, is going hunting. Leon van Wyk's going hunting on a Gerald Fourie. Down towards a Rouge. Bottom that car out. Massive G-forces through Radial, out into the Kemmel Straight. He sees that red dot in front of him. He knows that is the man he wants to catch. Gerald Fourie, 8,300, 8,400 RPM, 6th, 5th, 4th, down to 3rd. Nice and smooth, ride the curbstone, use that edge, clip the green section on the inside and the outside. Short change on the exit. Just keeps on turning through Brussels. It just feels like it's never going to end. This is crucial to get the drive coming out here. You can very easily run it wide as you come out of Speaker's Corner down towards the double gaucher. Try and turn in just once and just keep on trucking like that. Oh, he started straightening that steering out about 2/3 of the way through the corner, and he already had the pedal flat. That's going to be in his favor. Leon van Wyk, as we do a lap on board with Leon van Wyk. Time to use as much of the circuit as you possibly can. You're going to run it right towards that outer edge. Leon van Wyk at 202.2, 2/10 quicker than the man in front of him. He's looking for just on 2.4 seconds that he's got to pick up at 20.5 minutes into this one. How small is the gap between this left-hand front wheel and the bulging curbstone? Can't get any closer than that. 202 flat, 202.6 Gerald Fourie, 202.2, 3 seconds. Leon van Wyk's gone hunting. Leon van Wyk is on the move. He's not going to back out of this one. He wants to make up that gap. Who else is on a 202? Willem Botha, 202.074. Willem Botha was in fact the fastest man on the last lap as such, but Willem Botha is not in a situation right now where he's going to be able to make up positions unless somebody else makes an error. From our Induction Noise blimp powered by ROWE Oils, Leon van Wyk trying to close the gap to that man, Gerald Fourie, as they work their way through Brussels, down towards Speaker's Corner. Some lovely greenery around the circuit as we keep our eye on Gerald Fourie. 11 of the 13 laps, 22 minutes, just 3 more minutes to go. Look how smooth Gerald Fourie runs through there. 6.3 seconds behind Johan Fourie. As he makes his way through lane 4. Now through Campus. There's a bigger picture of Campus. Through Stavelot. Keep the hammer down. Carry as much speed through there as possible. Into Blanchimont. Just run it through the gears. Gerald Fourie. Flat foot all the way through. Keep it as straight a line as possible. Coming up towards the chicane. Hard on the brake. 6th, 4th, 3rd. Short change. Coming out there. A 201.8. Johan Fourie. Oh, looks like Leon van Wyk has had an issue with Leon van Wyk. Oh, he must have had a bit of an off circuit there. See, there's a yellow that's popped up for Leon van Wyk. Was that track limits? Leon van Wyk. Let's see what was the issue there. Here comes Leon van Wyk. Late and hard. Oh, he got it, spun it right. Well, it worked in his favor to a certain degree as he managed to flick it right around. So, Leon van Wyk, the man that we said has gone hunting, having that spin very close towards the end. The only man on the last lap to break that 2 minutes and 2 seconds was in fact the man in the lead of this race, Johan Fourie. And I think Carl Lawrence has just had an incident. Carl Lawrence and Christian van Wyk. Oh, Carl Lawrence just runs it in too deep, and as he goes over the curbstone, unsettles the weight on all 4 wheels. Gets it back into first gear, and away Carl Lawrence goes. But he's had a pretty good time so far. I must say, has Carl Lawrence. It's been very good for him. 24 minutes and 19 seconds as we keep an eye on Johan Fourie. Will he have to do another lap? I kind of think so. There's still 23 seconds to go and he's coming up towards the chicane. So you'll probably get the white flag from here. Let's see. What does the marshal's post say? Yep, there's the white flag being flown on the side of the track on the right hand side as Johan Fourie goes through. Next man will be Gerald Fourie from Leon van Wyk. All of them pretty much in the same camera shot. Here comes Willem Botha, Sandro Bakari. Amazing stuff from Sandro Bakari. Having said that, he has a slight issue. It's amazing how these things happen. Commentators curse Willem Botha from Sandro Bakari. Then coming into the start-finish straight, JJ van der Merwe. The original comeback kid in the mile 7. As he works his way through, Robbie Teens, second in the Grand Masters. Here comes Carl Lawrence after that incident that he's had so far. He could have got a lot better than that 8th position, but it's still very, very decent. I mean, there's a whole bunch of very serious names that's ahead of him out there on circuit. Neil Lamprechts from Induction Noise, powered by ROWE Lubrication. As he comes through, then we've got Timothy Stanton. He has never really been able to recover from the incidents he had earlier on. Interesting to see where the invert comes. Will it be Carl Lawrence or will it be, whoopsie, 4-wheel slide there. Bit of frustration coming through for Timothy Stanton, not working out the way he wanted, but coming through to take the checkered flag is Johan Fourie. What a dominant drive once again by Johan Fourie. Next man through will be Gerald Fourie. Good drive by Gerald. As always, Leon van Wyk. Beautiful stuff. Well done, Leon van Wyk. Sandro Bakari. It looks like he was almost in a drift as he came through there. Sandro Bakari. He'll bring the Haviland machine through. Texaco Haviland. Well done, Sandro Bakari. Got to be noted as the driver of a race number 1, Sandro Bakari, the super senior that's just outside the top 3. JJ van der Merwe, I think you'll be pretty happy with that one. Oh, has Willem Botha run out of juice? It's possible that Willem Botha has run out of juice. He's in neutral, and I don't think he's going to make it till the end. Terrible, terrible stuff for him. As Carl Lawrence comes through, Willem Botha is stranded. Neil Lamprechts will be the next man to come through. Here comes Neil Lamprechts. Let's see, what has Willem Botha done? Is he just standing on the circuit, or has he teleported back to the pits? Oh, Neil loses it right on the last as well, but manages to bump it over the curbs. Yeah, Willem Botha's not there anymore. And then one more to come, Timothy Stanton, as he comes through. And he takes that checkered flag. Oh, Willem Botha, Willem Botha, Willem Botha. What a terrible one there for Willem Botha. Can you believe it? That was not supposed to work out like that. So let's have a look-see at those results. Let's just take the other one off for you. Let's try that again. So Johan Fourie from Gerald Fourie from Leon van Wyk. Sandra Bakari, driver, race number 1. Got to be, no doubt about it. What a pity about Leighton Fourie moving through the pack pretty quickly up to that 6th position. Had an incident. Car was mashed, mangled and smashed. He couldn't go any further and recovers it back to the pits. A massive big thanks to Induction Noise, powered by ROWE, our main sponsor for this season, season number 15, round number 9. We're going to take a short break and we'll be back for race number 2 in 1.5 minutes from now. Right, for those of you that just joined us, it's time for race number 2, and let's have a quick look at that grid. That is how it's going to play itself out. Fanny Gevenstein, Christian, oh, pressure, Christian van Wyk, Willem Botha, Timothy Stanton. Well, they're going to make use of this one. They've got to stay in the driving seat. Oh, Gevenstein battles to get it off the line as they come down towards turn number 1. Are they all going to make it through there? And Timothy Stanton trying to make up some positions. It's Willem Botha that's gone to the front end of the pack. It's Carl Lawrence, it's Robbie Teens, it's Gerald Fourie, it's Neil Lamprecht, Leon van Wyk just ahead of a Christian. Timothy Stanton gets through there a lot better than what we had in the first race. Fanny Cravenstein's dropped down a good couple of positions. Christian van Wyk dives it towards the outside, but Willem Botha is going to lead them through. Carl Lawrence has done a brilliant job with the Rothmans entry. So has the original comeback kid in the Mile 7's car. Robbie Teens touching on the gravel on the outside. Gerald Fourie's in the hunt with this one. Gerald Fourie from Neil Lamprecht from Induction Noise, powered by ROWE Oils. Oh, that's Christian van Wyk that's gone. That's Christian van Wyk, and I think it was a Leighton Fourie was involved in that one as well. Oh, Leighton Fourie finds himself quite a long way further back, but I'm pretty sure Leighton Fourie is going to catch up kind of quick. Don't ever believe that that man is not going to be right in there towards the end of this race. Let's take out those last times. Let's put in those intervals. Neil Lamprecht, that's where the action is. Look at that, 0.3 of a second. Neil Lamprecht. It's all happening right in front of him. In fact, it's all happening right behind him as well. As they are right there. Being IT entry, dives up on the inside, under braking. Can he brake it more than enough? Yes, he does. The Mold 7 entry directly in front of them of a Robbie Teens. Fastest lap by Willem Botha. Willem Botha has decided time to up dust and disappear. Leighton Fourie and JJ have gone into the pits. It's Willem Botha that comes down the hill from Carl Lawrence. Then it is Gerald Fourie. Behind that, once again, Leon van Wyk in the top echelons. It's Neil Lamprecht, Robbie Teens. In the Mild 7 car is going to hold on to that one, but here comes Johan Fourie. Keep an eye on Johan Fourie. He's going to get the slipstream on Robbie Teens. Robbie Teens going to have to close off that inside line. Neil Lamprecht goes to the middle. Neil Lamprecht goes to the right-hand side. Johan Fourie stays on the fastest line. Right in there behind the 223 of Robbie Teens. You'll see. Just clip the curbstone there just a little. Johan Fourie riding on board in the Rothmans entry. He'll probably try and go up the inside of Robbie Teens as they go through the double gaucher. Through Speaker's Corner they go, and he gets the drive on the inside of Robbie Teens. Robbie tries to close him off, but Johan's going to lose a little bit of time here. He couldn't go in there flat boards. But he gets past Robbie Teens, and Sandro Bakari is right in there behind Robbie Teens. Sandro Bakari, Robbie Teens runs it just a little bit wide, but Sandro Bakari is right there with him. Johan Fourie under a second from Neil Lamprecht, while Willem Botha is busy pulling away at the front end of the field. Nice and smooth. Sandro Bakari on Robbie Teens. Which way does he go? He's going to try and have a look on the outside line. Will he be able to go right around the outside of Robbie Teens? While that's on the go a little bit further forward, Johan Fourie is closing on the man from Induction Noise. Johan Fourie in the Rothmans car. He's getting closer. Willem Botha puts up the fastest lap so far. Gerald Fourie says, that's nothing. Let me show you what real time is. 202.398. And Gerald Fourie goes forward. Oh, spins it around and gets it going again. That's the Rothmans entry that has dropped down. Carl Lawrence with that error. Having said that, Johan Fourie is closing on Neil Lamprecht. I think we need to go on board with that one. Right up there. Johan Fourie, Neil Lamprecht and Leon van Wyk. Neil Lamprecht and Leon van Wyk. Is going to be Neil that beats out on the Being IT entry, and Johan Fourie closing all the time. Now we saw what he did on the previous lap going through Speaker's Corner exit and through the double gaucher, how he got past Robbie Teens, but Robbie Teens did run a little bit wide. Here we go through Speaker's Corner. This is where Johan Fourie is very strong. Johan Fourie very strong. 0.36, 0.35, 0.34, 0.31, and touches on the brakes, but it's nice and smooth. Here he comes, Johan Fourie on the move. Dives it up for that inside line as we have a look from the Induction Noise bump powered by ROWE. Very, very close between the two of them. Not a whole bunch in it, but Neil Lamprecht leads out this group. Leon van Wyk directly behind him. Johan Fourie directly behind that. And Carl Lawrence is now on the move. Carl Lawrence is trying to make up some positions. He's going to have a look around the outside of Robbie Teens. Massive battle going on behind that between Sandro Bakari and Fani Gravenstein. Now remember, Robbie Teens, we're saying this one's past him, that one's past him, but he is still the leader in the Grand Master. Sandro Bakari is still behind him. And Robbie Teams with Carl Lawrence on his inside line. And here comes Sandro Bakari as well in the Haviland entry. Sandro Bakari decides to back out of that. Robbie Teams stays on that outside line, and that is going to bring Sandro Bakari into play. Sandro Bakari trying to come up, and he's not going to be able to make it before they get into Eau Rouge. Is going to have to follow through out into the Kemmel Straight. And Robbie Teams needs to get in there behind the back of Carl Lawrence. It's exactly what he does. Dives towards the outside. Sandro Bakari keeps a watching, looking, waiting game. Sandro Bakari as they come through. And Sandro Bakari is going for it. Sandro Bakari works his way past Robbie Teams. And the Super Senior goes towards the front. Leighton Fourie is on his way out of the pits. And they, oh, goodness gracious me, there's just pieces of motor car there. And I think that was Johan Fourie and Leighton. Wow, they ripped those two cars to pieces. Let's have a look from Leighton's point of view. I think we can actually get an idea of that one if we change the camera shot on that to the in-car shot of Johan Fourie. Yeah, it just clipped that curbstone very lightly. Just clipped that curbstone. Leighton, yeah. Oh, he tried to catch it, but it just threw the wheels off. Let's have a look from Johan Fourie's point of view again. Yeah, that is where he caught that curbstone. And I do believe if we have a look at the left rear of Johan Fourie, we'll be able to see that curbstone touch. Yeah, that was where it all went wrong. So while all that is happening, I don't know how they're going to get those cars back together. Massive amount of damage for Johan Fourie and Leighton Fourie. Both of them jumping back to the pits. One man's bad luck is another man's good luck. As Willem Botha works his way nice and confidently. Finds himself 3.8 seconds ahead of Leon. There comes Leon van Wyk. Just behind that, Carl Lawrence is having a pretty good run once again. He's all over the back end of Neil Lamprecht from Induction Noise, powered by ROWE Lubricants. As he works his way through, Daniel Lamprecht looks all good from that position. But it doesn't look very safe from that position because there's not a lot of space between those two cars at all. Neil Lamprecht from Carl Lawrence. And then we see Sandro Bakari in the background, right there where it counts. Well, at this stage of the fight, Willem Botha has gone into the pits. Johan Fourie, what's left of his car is in the pits. Leighton Fourie, what's left of his car is there. And Willem Botha did have an incident. Let's see if we can pick this one up. Oh, that car is mashed, badly mashed. Let's have another look at that one. Oh, there's no ways you're going to catch it from there, and flattens the front end of the car. Once again, it's Gerald Fourie that's got to do a slight dive and move to be able to make sure that he gets through. So right now, Timothy Stanton's coming to the pits. Neil Lamprecht is on his way out of the pits. Sandro Bakari is on his way out of the pits, and those three broken cars are still standing in the pit lane. Willem Botha, that car is still being fixed. Johan Fourie is going to work his way out of the pits. Leighton Fourie still getting that car fixed, so I don't know if Leighton's going to be able to come out again. But while all that is happening, Gerald Fourie is romping away at the front end of the pack. Now, JJ van der Merwe leads out on the guys that have been in and out of the pits, as Timothy Stanton, of the guys that have been in and out, Timothy Stanton on the back end of Sandro Bakari. Sandro Bakari will be very aware as he looks in the mirror on the Haviline entry as they go down towards Speaker's Corner, down towards the double gas shade, double right-hander coming up, trying to get the drive through. There is Timothy Stanton. It might work. It actually might work. Is it enough? No, it's not. It was a beautiful line that was taken there by Timothy Stanton. Gerald Fourie's into the pits. Gerald Fourie comes in, so does Leon van Wyk. What is Carl Lawrence going to do? Probably on 12 minutes 28, Carl Lawrence goes in as well. So Robbie Teens in the mile 7 entry decides, if the big boys go in, I've got to go as well. What about JJ van der Merwe? Here he comes now. Now JJ needs to get, oh, Gerald Fourie's already way out ahead of him. Gerald Fourie is starting to cruise, and so is Leon van Wyk. Carl Lawrence is still on his way in. Robbie Teens is on his way in. JJ van der Merwe is on his way across the line, but Leon van Wyk is already on his way down the hill with Gerald Fourie ahead of that. So right now it's all about Gerald Fourie. That's going to lead this one. Leighton is still in the pits. Leighton has not been able to come out of the pits. That car is mashed beyond. Gerald Fourie from Leon van Wyk, first and second. JJ van der Merwe, look at the battle behind that. It's Carl Lawrence and Neil Lamprecht. Neil's going to have a look around the outside of Carl. Carl won't give that away. Oopsie, light contact. And straight ball, and he gives the position back. Very sportsmanlike one, that one. Neil Lamprecht, the man from Induction Noise, says, okay, I did touch you. Gets going. It's, oh, hold on a second. Give that position back to Carl Lawrence, and we fight it out from there. So, well done to that man, Neil Lamprecht. Whoopsie, somebody's gone off in the background. I think that could have been Timothy Stanton. Oh, he was just in too hard, was Timothy Stanton. Throws the nose cone at the retaining wall, and that's going to cost him very, very badly. I somehow think, oh yeah, the right-hand front is gone on that motor car, and Timothy Stanton's going to have to take that one back to the pits, while Neil Lamprecht, having done the sportsmanly thing and giving it back to Carl Lawrence, now sees a bit of a gap between himself and Carl Lawrence, which he's going to have to now traverse that amount of space between the two of them. Leighton Fourie is out of this one. Let's see, Leighton Fourie. Yeah, Leighton Fourie is out of this one, and Johan Fourie, he's managed to get it going again. He wants to get some points out of this one. But he's going to have to weave some amazing magic, Johan Fourie, if he wants to pick up anything much in the line of points. He finds himself behind Sandro Bakari, super senior. So Sandro Bakari has in fact lapped Johan Fourie with that incident that Johan was involved in, taking a long time to get in and out of the pits. Robbie Teens on his way into the pits. I think he's been in the pit lane already. Oh, he's lost the nose cone. Well, the nose cone is there, but the fins are gone. So Robbie Teens is going to park that one in his box, while Neil Lamprecht still goes in search of Carl Lawrence. That is the closest gaps right now. 16 minutes into this 25 minutes, and Gerald Fourie's doing what he does best. Up, dust, and disappear. That's what he does. Timothy Stanton got himself back on track again, but it looks like Timothy has had another incident. Let's just see if we can pick that one up. Is it the same one? Yeah, no, that is the same incident with Timothy Stanton. And in trying to get that car back to the pits, he drove it off onto the grass. I think he's decided that you'll lose less time if you complete the lap at a slow pace away from everybody and everything, as opposed to teleporting back to the pits and then ending up with a situation where whatever you've done of that lap is gone. Lap 9 of 13 is started by Gerald Fourie, and Leon van Wyk is really pushing the edges to ensure that he is a very strong candidate for driver of this second race. JJ van der Merwe in that third position. Carl Lawrence still holds out. Carl Lawrence still holds out on Neil Lamprecht from Induction Noise. Super Senior Sandra Bakori in the Haviland car. Not that far behind him, Fani Gravenstein. As Fani Gravenstein comes through, 35 seconds further back is the original comeback kid Robbie Teens that finds himself second in class and 8th overall out on circuit. And they're not far behind Robbie Teens, just 5 seconds further back as Robbie comes flying through. On that exact same piece of track is Willem Botha. Can Willem Botha make up one more position? Well, points-wise, it's not going to make it much difference, because although they're in the same race, they're in different classes. But you know Willem Botha, the man from Toyota Gazoo, he never ever stops trying, and that's Timothy Stanton in the background. So it's just not going right for Timothy Stanton today. Trying to work his way back to the pits, Timothy Stanton. Now he's got to try and get that thing to turn, and it just doesn't want to turn. He's trying to. We've got to watch this one. Timothy Stanton, is he going to be able to get that one all the way back into the pits without affecting anybody? I think this is a bit of man versus machine that Timothy Stanton is doing here. And now he's going to go straight across and try and do the left-hander. And that's about as far as he's going to get, because thereafter he jumped it back to the pits. And, well, all the efforts that he possibly could was unfortunately in vain, because it did not work out for him. And Timothy Stanton goes into the pits. He's already one lap down with a massive amount of damage on that motor car, as we keep an eye on Willem Botha. Now remember, 4.4 Willem Botha off the back end of Robbie Teens. Leon van Wyk in second off the back end of Gerald Fourie. 4 seconds, a flat 4 seconds. 203's been done by JJ, Carl, Neil and Sandro's the quickest of that group. 3.6 from him, Sandro Bakori to Neil, as we keep an eye on Leon van Wyk. 4 seconds off the back end of Gerald. You just saw Gerald Fourie disappear there in front of him. So let's have a look at this one from the top end down. Gerald Fourie from Leon van Wyk as they work their way through Brussels. Going down towards Brussels is JJ. Carl Lawrence directly behind him. And Neil Lamprecht has not been able to close up again on Carl Lawrence. Carl Lawrence has had the pace in the Danker car to be able to stay in touch, but not been able to close up on the Rothmans entry. Just behind that is Super Senior Sandro Bakori. Nothing much between all of them. We're 20 minutes into this one. Let's have a look at the gains and losses as it's played itself out this time around. Gerald Fourie putting his authority, stamping his authority on this one to go 10 positions up. Leon van Wyk, brilliant stuff. Leon van Wyk 8 positions up. JJ having a very decent race as well. JJ van der Merwe in that third position, not getting away from Carl Lawrence, but then again Carl Lawrence is quick enough to stay ahead of Neil Lamprecht, and that is commendable, very commendable for Carl Lawrence. I do think that Leon van Wyk has had a pretty decent session so far. There's Sandro Bakori coming through. to complete another lap. So Fanie Gravenstein, the next man, is going to come through. He started on the front row of the grid. Did Fanie Gravenstein in the Parmalat entry. He finds himself in 7th position. Just behind him, Super Senior Robbie Teens, as he goes through Stavelot towards Blanchimont. Full on high speed trip this. Run it right towards the outside. Clip that curbstone. No, he didn't get it that close towards the curbstone that time around. Down towards turn number 1. Come as close as you can to that wall. Run it towards the outside. Down the hill goes Robbie Teens, 22.5 minutes into this 25 minutes. Gerald Ferry, 10 positions up, leading out. Probably going to get through one more lap after this one as we ride on board with Robbie Teens. But is going to have a little bit of action alongside him in the not too distant future. Robbie Teens, and there goes Willem Botha. Remember I said, 4.2 seconds? Well, Willem Botha closed that one down. And Robbie Teens gets passed by Willem Botha. There's no ways Willem Botha is going to catch Fanie Gravenstein unless something goes wrong. Anything is possible. Willem Botha on a pretty decent pace. Let's have a look at the last lap times. Who is the main guys out there right now? 202.6, 202.4, 202.8, 203 for Sandro Bakari. So 202.4 by Leon van Wyk. So Leon van Wyk is doing an exceptional job right now. Leon van Wyk is pretty much doing everything that he can to try and get in there and make a plan at this stage of the fight to try and get in a little bit closer to the likes of a Gerald Ferry. Gerald Ferry, the man that's led out right from the beginning. There's no doubt that Gerald Ferry is the fastest man out there. Gerald Ferry, the father of Leighton Ferry, as he works his way to try and get a nice line through Speaker's Corner, through the double gauche, using every millimeter of the Spa-Francorchamps circuit, is Gerald Ferry. Leon van Wyk, the being IT entry, in that second position with we're down to about 40 seconds at this point as they work their way through. Let's go through to Gerald Ferry. How is that one going to work for Gerald Ferry? Will he have to do another lap? I somehow don't think so. I think it could be a situation where he might not have to do another lap. 24 minutes and 44 seconds. Probably going to find that Gerald Ferry is going to be, well, with 10 to go, he might actually need to do another lap. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and he gets the white flag, and there's a spinner behind him. It's Leon van Wyk, the man in that second position. Leon van Wyk spins it around. Wow, that costs Leon van Wyk big time, really big time. And look how close JJ has come. JJ van der Merwe on the white flag lap. JJ van der Merwe from Carl Lawrence, from Neil Lamprecht, from Sandro Bakari. That's literally how close they are to one another. See Johan Ferry in the background, trying to recover some kind of points. But it's all about this man, Gerald Ferry. He came, he saw, and he has decided, I am going to conquer race number 2. And that is exactly what he has done. Brilliant stuff from Gerald Ferry. Heartache for Leighton, his son, back from Europe after his last event, international. Race number 1, came off the back end of the back, he didn't qualify. Got involved in an incident once he got up to 6th position. Race number 2 made up 4 or 5 positions, and then it all turned to dirt and dust and broken pieces for him. And that's where he parked it in the pits. Took too long to be able to try and fix that motor car, and he didn't come out with it again. As Gerald Ferry works his way around, coming up towards the end of the last lap, as he works his way through Blanchimont down towards the chicane. Coming through the corner, second part of the chicane for the last time. And it's going to be Gerald Ferry that takes away the checkered flag. Leon van Wyk in the being IT entry just on the last lap. He spun right there as Leon comes across the line from JJ van der Merwe, from Carl Lawrence, from Neil Lambrechts, from Induction Noise, from Sandro Bakari. They all come and park it there. And Fani Gravenstein, the next man that's going to be coming through. It's Fani Gravenstein. Going to bring that Parmalat entry. You kind of link that sign writing to Nelson PK. Somebody doing some donuts there for us. On the entrance to La Source, as Willem Botha comes through, trying to recover as much points as what he possibly can. Here comes Willem Botha. As Willem comes across the line, and that just ahead of Robbie Teams, that makes a second position for himself in class. Has Christian van Wyk run out of juice? It's possible. Yep, that's the last of the petrol. He's not going to make it. To try and make it from there, I think it's... No. Christian van Wyk says, you corner for petrol. I'm not going to be able to get that one to the end. Alright, that wraps up race number 2. So let's have a quick shofty at this one. Let's clear the screen for you over there. Alright, let's have a look-see. The qualifying looked like this. Johan from Willem, Gerald, Neil, JJ. That was your top 5. Heat number 1. Johan, Gerald, Leon, Sandro, JJ. Sandro Bakari, driver of race number 1. Super Senior coming through there in 4th position. Right, let's have a look at the feature. Gerald Ferry, brilliant. Utterly brilliant. JJ coming through there to that 3rd position. Carl Lawrence be able to stay ahead of Neil Lambrechts. Sandro Bakari coming through there in that 6th position. But let's just have a look. Let's just go back one spot here now. Gerald Ferry, 3rd in quali. In heat number 1, Gerald Ferry 2nd. Heat number 2, Gerald Ferry 1st. So driver of race number 1 was Sandro Bakari. Driver of race number 2, let's just have a look at number 1 again. It's got to go to Leon van Wyk. If you think about it, in the quali, Leon was in 8th. In race number 1, where Sandro Bakari was driver of the day, he raced it through to 3rd position. And in the feature, even though he spun it with a lap to go, he ended up 2nd. So driver of race number 1, Super Senior Sandro Bakari, that did exceptionally well. Race number 2, Leon van Wyk. And the overall driver of the day has got to go to Mr. Gerald Ferry. There's no doubt about it. Class act, super smooth, did it all right. Bad luck of the day has got to go to Leighton Fourie, coming twice off the back of the pack and twice being involved in incidents and not being able to go any further at all. So that is a wrap for us for this evening. Spa-Francorchamps Formula Renault 3.5s, and that's sponsored by Induction Noise, powered by ROWE Lubricants. A big thanks to them and everybody that takes part in this lovely series of ours. That was season 15, round number 9. Look forward to seeing you next week, same time. Where we're going to be driving, I don't know, but I'm definitely going to be coming live to you, same time, next week, Wednesday. Let's see what car combination is there going to be with the track, same time next week. From our side, Gary Fleming, Second Gear Productions. Cheers, everybody.